Hey, what's up guys? My name is Aram Dead Dude, and I'm back with another aiming guide, and this time it is for popcorn. So just as a disclaimer, the guide I'm about to lay out to you guys is not to be used for improvement. This is strictly a score increasing guide for Grandmaster rank popcorn players trying to reach Nova. So starting off, the first tip is when you are playing popcorn, because it's a 360 map, you'll spend a lot of time swiping and then recentering your mouse to search for targets. I highly recommend that the direction you should be swiping to is the direction that points inwards. So what I mean by this is if you're right-handed, you should be swiping to the left, and if you're left-handed, you should be swiping to the right. And the reasoning for why you should be swiping in that direction is you'll have more control with stability and consistency in your swiping. This is beneficial because if you're able to rotate the same distance constantly, you will always know roughly where your cursor lands when you finish your swipe. This will allow you an easier time of acquiring a target directly after recentering your mouse. Another benefit for inward swiping is if you need to chase bots that are bouncing outside your field of view, you are able to achieve more distance and flexibility when aiming inwards towards your body when chasing those bots. And the way you can increase the distance you can cover while still being able to aim is by moving your mouse as far left or as far right as possible on your mouse pad. Then you are still able to further increase your horizontal distance by tilting your mouse in the same direction you were just moving, making it as horizontal as possible, and then dragging it downwards towards the bottom corner of your mouse pad. This motion is only possible because you are able to bend your elbow. This is the main reason for why I don't recommend swiping outwards away from your body. Because the problem with swiping outwards is if you were to repeat the same movement the opposite direction, you would have to extend your elbow further than what is possible with a hinge joint. So moving on from that, my second point is mainly about something I personally believe people have been getting incorrect for a very long time about popcorn, and that is you should not be killing the bots at the apex, but the moment after the bot reaches the apex. And the reason for this is that the bot's apex is the time the bot has the most significant movement changes. Because of this, it's actually an extremely risky time to attempt a shot at the popcorn bot. A much more effective and consistent timing I recommend that you should be attempting your shots at is the exact moment the bot exits the apex and starts falling. But in general, any moment during the bot's fall is the best time to take a shot. The reason why I recommend shooting bots that are falling is because you don't have to do any movement reading of the bot's vertical distance. And what I mean by this is you don't need to watch the bot's vertical speed decreasing because the bot has to hit the ground no matter what. The ground is a constant distance the bot will move. It can't change vertical direction before or after it hits the floor. It has to reach the exact height of the floor to change its vertical direction. And if you take note of this, because the vertical distance is constant, the only movement reading you have to do for the popcorn bot is to read what its horizontal movement is when it falls out of the apex. And because we know the destination the popcorn bot is already heading to, you can essentially catch the bot along a horizontal axis, somewhere in between the apex and the ground. And by doing this, you essentially halve the information you need to process to make an accurate decision of where to place your crosshair. A major mistake players are making in popcorn is shooting at the popcorn bot at any moment during its upwards trajectory, including the apex. And the reason I mentioned just before is why. When the bot bounces upwards, you have to read the moment the bot decreases in vertical speed to know at what height the bot will stop vertically rising. And then you have to react to the moment the bot slows down, and then figure out the horizontal movement of that bot, and then position your crosshair based on that knowledge. Not only is this significantly harder because there's a lot more variables you have to consider, it is also very inconsistent due to the very small time frame you have to execute this. A thing you can do in popcorn is if you turn health bars on, you can tell what type of bot you're looking at based on its name, and the height the bot will bounce to increases based on its profile number. You can increase the health bar size to the maximum to increase the visibility of the bot's name, and with that you can easily identify the current bot's movement profile. And knowing that the bots cycle upwards each respawn will give you a rough image of their positions off screen outside your field of view. Moving on from that, for my closing point, I'd like to talk about pgti. A lot of players recommend playing pgti to improve your popcorn name. Personally, I believe this is extremely inefficient, and the reason for this is the skills you are improving when playing pgti is chasing and reacting to the bot. These skills, when transferred to popcorn, are only used for initiating your movement reading, which is really only the preparation you do before the execution of your actual dynamic aiming skills. pgti also only uses one bot profile as well, and in Popcorn the multiple bot profiles have varying aspects such as spin and horizontal speed altered onto the bots. I believe there are a lot more effective aspects you could improve that would have a more direct impact on your Popcorn skills, such as decreasing the distance of leading the target, for example. So those were the main points I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully I managed to provide you with some up-to-date knowledge about what sort of game plan you should be considering, and some insight about how to go improving your dynamic clicking.